All right. So, you want me to just go ahead and start spewing about the brand and let you know who we are and all that?
Absolutely. Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you for the opportunity today. My name is obviously Amy Price. I'm with Explora Journeys, head of sales for the USA West and Canada, and very excited to share with you all today a little more detail about Explora Journeys. And I like to start off right now with the next slide because this is an actual image of the ship in the water. And my mantra right now is hashtag no more excuses. So we have a ship in the water. I'm loving the reviews that we are hearing about the ship, about the experience, and just about how we've created a truly differentiated product in the industry from an ultra luxury standpoint. I would say probably the biggest feedback that we are getting is that we've created a category of one. And our ship, I almost said our hotel, and that's intentional. Our ship has been designed to feel more like a boutique hotel at sea. And we really are attracting those first-time cruisers, a younger demographic to the ultra luxury space. I will tell you that the average age of our clients on board right now is around 53, and we are targeting that affluent, working, wealthy clientele who maybe hasn't had an ocean experience yet, or maybe has had an ocean experience, but is looking to elevate that ocean experience to the ultra luxury space. And the brand truly was built with the idea of guest centricity in mind. And in building the brand, we didn't just go out and say, hey, we know how to build ships because we are part of the MSC group. So MSC Cruises is our sister company, but we're completely separate. The benefit of being part of the MSC group is that we do have very deep pockets. And our project is a passion project of the family. They have always wanted to create a differentiated ocean-going experience for the discerning traveler. And in doing so, we went to the McKinsey Group and we actually spoke with 20,000 consumers who told us really what we should be doing to build the brand. We didn't just say, we know how to build ships, we're going to do it our way. These 20,000 consumers, 75% of them have never actually been on a ship before or cruised before. And the other 25% had some cruising in the luxury space experience. But we wanted to make sure that who we talked to were luxury guests. And they told us that when we were building this ship, there are some certain things that we should keep in mind. And what you're seeing here are 4 pillars that came out of those conversations with 20,000 consumers that we have been using not only as we built the actual physical structure of the ship, but also as we built the onboard product and the flow and the experiences that guests are having on board. So first of all, they told us to make sure that we provide them with space, that luxury is a lot about space. It's also a lot about choice. And if you think about it, you can't have choice without space. So the space that we have on board, we do have the largest guest to space ratio of any line in the industry. And with all of that space, we've been able to provide choice. And I'll tell you about all the choices in a little bit here. They also wanted us to focus on design, to be more contemporary, to be more yacht-like. So when you see our ship, you do see that stair-step approach in the aft that is more super yacht-like, the dark blue navy hull, as well as more luxury super yacht-like, and just a very sleek line. Also, the destinations that we visit and how we experience those destinations. And that is articulated in the way that we visit the ports of call, in that we are spending more time in ports of call. A lot of our itineraries, you're going to see us spending overnights in ports of call as well. So those 4 pillars really have gone into everything that we've done. And those were determined by the guests that we spoke to. So with that, as I mentioned, we do intend, and we are offering a new style of transformative ocean experiences for those discerning travelers, and exploration in all its types of forms. And exploration in a type of form that really creates the ability to discover the ocean state of mind. That is our tagline. Everybody's ocean state of mind is going to be different, but the ocean state of mind really is about the ability to reconnect with the ocean, with yourself, with whomever you're traveling with the destinations that you're going to, and reminding us that the ocean is what takes us to those destinations. And the ship really is the vessel for doing that. But in the design of the ship and in a lot of what we do on board, we also try to keep the ocean front and center. So you'll see a lot of floor to ceiling windows. All of our homes at sea, which is what we call our suites on board, are all oceanfront, and they're all terraced suites, not rooms, not cabins, suites. And I always like to compare this to the fact that I just was on vacation and I checked into a hotel in Maui, and they said, do you want a garden view or do you want an ocean view or an oceanfront, ocean view suite? I didn't have enough for this hotel to buy an oceanfront suite, but I was like, oh, I'll do the ocean view. Well, the ocean view encompassed the ability for trees to blow in the wind from time to time and for me to see the ocean. Our suites obviously have all oceanfront views, all terraces, so that the ocean is front and center. And you'll see that articulated as far as ability to connect with the ocean in all of our public spaces as well. We call the suites homes at sea because we do want them to feel comfortable. We want them to feel like you're home at sea. So it's relaxed, elegant, casual suites that you're going to be enjoying. Again, all with oceanfront terraces. And I will tell you, the furniture on all the terraces is pretty nice. Italian furniture made by Minotti. Every terrace has at least a double day bed for you to relax on and a table and 2 chairs. But as you get up into the higher category of suites, we do have much greater space on the terraces, so much more furniture, which is what you're seeing here in one of our residences. So we'll start with our various different suite categories. We do have 4 different categories of suites. We start with our ocean terrace suites. So we have 461 all oceanfront, all terraced suites. 361 of them are our ocean terrace suites, and this is our lead in suite category. They start at 377 square feet. So about 302 square feet of that is interior space, and about 75 square feet is your terraces. There is also a grand terrace suite that has the same interior space, but the terrace itself is 100 square feet, so a bit more substantial. The images that you're seeing now are of an actual ocean terrace suite, and I did have the pleasure of staying in a grand terrace, so I have the same interior space, but my terrace was a bit larger. So some of the creature comforts of our suites on board to make them feel like homes at sea is every suite has a king bed. There are some suites that do have the ability to split that king bed into 2 separate twins. So in our homes at sea document, which I know that I've shared with you as travel advisors on the line with me today, we do outline the various suites that have the ability to split into twin beds. All the suites are featuring frette linens, both on the beds and in the bathrooms. So the towels, the bathrobes, the slippers and whatnot, all frette linens. When you come into your suite, you get a bottle of French champagne, chilled, waiting for you. In the Ocean Terrace suites, which is, as I said, the entry level, you get a bottle of Veuve Clicquot. In our penthouses, which is the next step up, you get a bottle of Moët Chandon 2015. And in the residences, you get a bottle of Dom Perignon, and that also includes our owner's residence. Everyone also has an in-suite mini bar, which we stock with your favorite spirit of your choice. Every suite also has heated marble floors in the bathroom. For the ladies, we've got this lovely dressing vanity area in the walk-in closet. We also feature a Dyson hair dryer, which many of the ladies are quite enjoying. Some gentlemen as well. In the bathrooms, we have heated marble floors, all marble furnishings. Some of the Ocean Terrace suites do have bathtubs as well. So again, denoted in that Homes at Sea document, if you have guests that are wanting bathtubs, we do have those available in our Ocean Terrace suites as well. The walk-in closet and that vanity area does have a sliding door. So if someone is getting ready and the other person wants a little privacy and to maybe have a lie-in, they can avoid disturbing each other. But there are some really interesting details in these suites that I would have never thought of. And I think it's really great that we have put that much thought into it. For example, one thing that bugs the heck out of me when I sail is if it's a little bit rocky, I hate hearing the hangers move in the closet. I mean, it's crazy, huh? On the railing in here, there's rubber on the tops of the railings so that the hangers don't slide back and forth. In the in-suite safe, for us ladies, we like to see the jewelry that we've brought with us. There is a jewelry box in the safe that you can lay everything out, or the men, if you have your watches, you can put it in the jewelry box. When you get up in the middle of the night, instead of leaving the bathroom light on so that you don't trip and fall on your way to the bathroom, there are 2 nightstands at the side of each bed. There are motion sensor lights that turn on when you get up in the middle of the night so that you can find your way to the bathroom. There are a ton of USB and USB ports in these suites, so you can feel free to charge and connect your devices as needed. They just are very comfortable and meant to feel like homes at sea. We have no single-use plastics on board. So in the bathrooms, we have these beautiful bottles of what is called Mandala Blue, and that is our scent. It was created by Firmenich by their head nose, and it is a lovely scent. It's not overpowering. It does evoke thoughts and feelings of the ocean. And we will have that available for sale in our onboard shops. It's not currently yet, but they are in the process of developing that and having that available for sale. So those are our Ocean Terrace suites. From there, we bump up to our Ocean Penthouses, and we have 67 of these. They range from 463 square feet up to 732 square feet. 4 different categories of penthouses, starting with just our regular penthouses, going to our deluxe penthouses, then our premier penthouses, and our grand penthouses. So a little bit more square footage. There's also a few little more things included with the penthouse suites. Like I think you get an extra bag of laundry, that elevated champagne that I mentioned. And again, that's all outlined in the Homes at Sea document. You also get an elevated in-suite dining menu when you're in a penthouse suite. A little bit more space, obviously, on the terrace. This is an image of the premier penthouse, which is one of my favorite because there's a glass screen that blocks off the bedroom from the living area. So again, if you've got someone that wants to lie in and someone that wants to get up, that's a little bit more comfortable. The grand penthouse actually has a separate bedroom, so you do have a little bit more separation in that space, and so that's about 732 square feet. Ocean residences are our top suites. So we have 22 ocean residences and 1 owner's residence. So these range from 753 square feet to just over 1,600 square feet. And again, 4 different categories, starting with the Cove residence, going into the Retreat residence, and then the Serenity residence. And our top residence, aside from the owners, is the Cocoon residence, which I always joke that you're going to turn into a butterfly after you stayed in the cocoon, but it is a beautiful residence. All of these residences feature a private jacuzzi hot tub on the terrace, obviously a much larger terrace, and also a dedicated in-suite host providing butler-like service for the clients that are staying, or guests that are staying in our ocean residences. Then the top suite is that owner's residence, and this is 3,014 square feet, and it does span the entire aft of deck 8. So a ton of space here.
Wow.
Yeah, it's absolutely
wow.
The terrace on this suite has its own dip pool and outdoor shower, tons of outdoor living space. Unfortunately, I don't have any images of the outdoor terrace yet because it's been occupied the entire time that we've been sailing. So getting real imagery of this suite has been a little bit difficult. One thing I will mention about the suites too that I forgot is that 78 of the Ocean Terrace suites are connecting suites. So if you do have a group, or if you have a family that is traveling as a quad, you would get 2 of those Ocean Terrace suites. And typically what happens is an Ocean Terrace suite is going to connect to a larger suite. So it's going to be an Ocean Terrace to a Grand Terrace, or an Ocean Terrace to a penthouse, or an Ocean Terrace to a resident. So that maybe if it's a multi-gen traveling group, maybe the matriarch would be in a residence and whomever's traveling with them would be in the Ocean Terrace suite. So that's how we can accommodate groups and families that are requiring triples and quads on board. And speaking of families, we do accept families on board and accommodate families. We don't promote to families. And that's pretty important. You won't see us in our marketing saying, hey, bring all your kids on board, because that's not what we're doing. Keep in mind, we are marketing to an affluent luxury, or an affluent working demographic. Typically, they have children, and sometimes a little bit later in life, but it affords them the ability to travel with their children. And so we want, as a family-owned brand, we want to be able to accommodate families. So we do that by way of these suite accommodations that I just mentioned. And then additionally, we do have a program on board called Nautilus, and space built out on board for children if they are traveling with us, so that they have a place to go. And I always like to point that out because I started my career in the industry 32 years ago, and I was a youth staff on board a ship that didn't have space built out for children. And I always said that I had one of the hardest jobs in the industry, because not only was I trying to please the kids and entertain them, I was trying to please their parents and keep them happy. But more importantly, I was trying to please the people that didn't want to see the kids and know that they were on board. So trying to keep them out of the way was always a big challenge. And knowing that we have space on board to do just that is very important. We also do have designated pool area that is adults only, and other spaces like the casino and whatnot that are adults only. I don't ever expect that we are going to have hundreds of kids on board. I'm talking about the 10s and 20s. Obviously, there will be a likelihood to have more children when it's holiday times and families, but we would never have hundreds of kids on board for sure. So what's included in our all-inclusive journey fare is all listed here. So culinary experiences, which we're going to get into in a moment, unlimited beverages, fine wines, and premium spirits, that in-suite welcome bottle of champagne that I mentioned, this intuitive service. We liken our service on board to what you would experience at a luxury hotel. So we do have a host to guest ratio of 1.25 to 1. So it is a very high ratio, which allows us to provide that intuitive service. You do get access to the spa thermal area, which I'll cover when we talk about our ocean wellness programming. Also, all of our well-being and fitness programs, which I'll cover too. Complimentary Wi-Fi throughout the ship. And I'm going to stop here for just a moment because our Wi-Fi is extremely strong. We are powered not only by Starlink, but also SAS, and we have routers in every single suite. So every guest gets the option to connect 3 devices at all times. When I was on board, I had my laptop and my 2 phones connected. I never lost a connection. I did live webinars. I live streamed from the ship. I did tours on the ship where I took my phone and I walked around from all the different rooms. And I had over 120 consumers and advisors on several different webinars at various different times who were watching what we were doing and never got disconnected. So the Wi-Fi is very strong for those that do need to maybe stay connected, do a little work, or maybe want to stay connected socially. Not a problem at all. Onboard gratuities are included, shuttle services to and from the port city centers when we're not doctor tendered close. And then, as I mentioned, additional items and inclusions as you go up the ranks when it comes to the various different suite categories. And I did just mention the fact that we do have a slides not advanced there, that host to guest ratio of that 1.25 to 1. So just reiterating that that is a very high ratio. And we have a lovely team of hosts on board who have come from luxury experiences, either working in luxury hotels or other luxury ships, and have joined us. And they've been handpicked to join us. And it's all been based on their attitude, aptitude, and personality. So they're very excited to finally have guests on board to entertain. So choice, let's talk about choice. And actually, before I talk about choice, do 3 of you have any questions about the suites or what I've been hearing so far?
Can you hear me? Excuse me. Can you hear me okay?
Of course I can.
On the cabins, suites.
Thank you.
You have 2, is it a maximum of 2 in the cabin?
So
I'm thinking of like a nanny with the children.
So you can have 3 in a suite if the configuration is 2 adults and 1 child, or 1 adult and 2 children. Okay. Some of the penthouses do accommodate a quad, but it would have to be 2 adults and 2 children. If you get, obviously, if you get connecting suites, then you have the ability to have a total of 6, but it would have to be 2 adults and 1 child.
Okay. Okay, perfect. Thank you.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Any other questions before I move on?
No, I love it. So basically, though, I'm looking at the size of that. That is not your typical cabin or even suite bathroom.
No. You mean from a size standpoint?
Yes.
Yeah, it's very comfortable. It's very comfortable. You're not gonna, well, for lack of better words, when I was working on board, we used to be able to shave and shower all in one place. I didn't just say that, but very comfortable. And lots of storage too. That's also a key to note. In the suites, there's a ton of storage. So lots of drawers, lots of hanging space. You won't be for lack of that. So I hope you guys have eaten. It's lunchtime where I'm at. So I did have a few snacks before this because I'm going to start talking about culinary, which is absolutely amazing on our ship. I think I gained 15 pounds in the 10 days that I was on board because it was so crazy good. Franck Garager was hired from Oceania Cruise Lines. And if anybody knows anything about the cruise industry, Oceania has an amazing reputation for their culinary. Franck was the second in command behind Jacques Papin, their lead culinary head. And he came over to Explora Journeys with a blank slate and a team of chefs and created an amazing portfolio of culinary experiences for our guests to enjoy. So this slide here just articulates that we have 18 bars, lounges, and restaurants across our ship. So again, choice, very, very important. For a ship of our size to have this much choice when it comes to restaurants and bars and lounges is unheard of. So we have 6 true standalone restaurants. In addition, we have a chef's kitchen, which is our private culinary school that you can make arrangements for once you get on board. You cannot pre-book the chef's kitchen. It is something that you get on board and you go to the chef's kitchen, you learn about the different classes that they're going to offer. It's only 12 guests per class. At Sea Days, we do a morning and an afternoon class, and it's an additional €150 experience credit per person to do it. And you will be cooking with a French master chef if you do decide to do chef's kitchen. And they always try to cook something from the region that you're visiting. So when I was on board, I was in Northern Europe, and they'd had, like, for example, they did shepherd's pie. They did one class that was haggis, potatoes, and scallops. So they do try to be very mindful of the region that they're sailing in as far as the classes are concerned. And then of the 6 restaurants, there are 3 that we do require a reservation for. And our industry has done a great job of saying that if you need a reservation for a restaurant, that means that the experience in that restaurant or food in that restaurant is going to be elevated. I'm here to tell you that is not the case at Explora Journeys. Every single restaurant has amazing food. The only reason that we require reservations in these 3 restaurants is because of the space. They're not very big restaurants, so we need to be able to afford everyone the opportunity to dine in these restaurants. So you're allowed 1 reservation in each of these restaurants to start off with. And then when you get on board, if you wander up to the restaurant in their space, you can certainly walk in, or if they do have additional reservations available later in the cruise, they will allow you to do that. So let's go through the various different restaurants, and I will tell you what they serve, when they serve, and whether or not they need reservations. So Emporium Marketplace is the first place I'm going to start off with, because this is our casual dining space. This is open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. It is not, and I'm going to repeat, it is not a buffet. These are 18 different cooking stations, and the food is phenomenal in here. You go breakfast, lunch, or dinner, the cooking stations change. There's a huge variety of food to choose from in here. In the morning, there's a major juice bar. They have acai bowls, omelets made to order, all sorts of breads, all sorts of meats to choose from. They have like the traditional English or traditional European style breakfast layout, and then they have the traditional North American, where you can get cereal and milk if you want. So lots of variety in there. Lunch obviously transitions up to freshly made pastas, hand carved meats, salads are available. You don't touch any of the food. It's all prepared for you and then given to you to either take to your table or deliver to your table. I did see quite a few people in the evening would come up to Emporium Marketplace, and they would enjoy oysters on half shell in the evening with some champagne up there, and then go to dinner in one of the other restaurants. So there's quite a bit of variety up here, and it is quite an inviting space, and the team up there of hosts are amazing. There is an outdoor dining space to this restaurant as well. I, of course, was there in Northern Europe, so it was a little chilly to be eating outdoors, but I can't wait to be back on board in our warmer weather opportunities such as the Caribbean and Med, because I'm sure this space will be used quite often. So that's the Emporium Marketplace. Next restaurant, Med Yacht Club. Obviously Mediterranean flair, so Spanish, Italian, Greek, as well as North African dishes in here. So we have some tagines on the menu. This space is probably the only space, one of the only spaces on board that actually looks like a ship, because it has porthole windows. It's decorated very tastefully with a lot of ship-themed knickknacks around. What I love about this space is there's actually a bar and lounge in the restaurant that you can come in and have some tapas before your reservation. and then go and enjoy your dinner in here. One of my favorite dishes in the Med Yacht Club, and this is open for lunch and for dinner, was the Dover sole, which they come and they debone very delicately right by your table side. And then there is an amazing hazelnut chocolate dessert in here that I really tried hard not to eat desserts when I was on board, and I totally failed because the chocolate hazelnut was to die for. So that's the Med Yacht Club. Connected to the Med Yacht Club and in between the two is a beautiful captain's table in a glass encased wine cellar. And then this connects to Rouge, which is our largest restaurant on board and probably the most formal looking of all the restaurants because it does have white linen tablecloths. And I will tell you, speaking of formal, we have no formal nights on board. So you don't need to bring your suits, ties, your evening gowns or whatnot. We are country club casual or resort club casual, however you want to call it. You can feel very relaxed when you're on board. You don't need to dress up. However, if you'd like to dress up, you're more than welcome to. Rouge is open for a sit-down breakfast menu. It's also open for dinner. Beef Wellington was very popular in here. I had a lovely cut of tuna in here. But my favorite thing, again, I'm going to go back to the desserts because the souffles change like every night. I had a coconut lime souffle that was to die for, a chocolate berry souffle. Anyway, lots of amazing food in here. It is international cuisine, French inspired in Rouge. No reservations in either of those restaurants that we've gotten to thus far. Marble & Company is the first one that we're going to talk about that does require a reservation. Only open for dinner. This is our European steakhouse. The cuts of meat in here are amazing. I'm not a lover of beef, but they also have lots of different proteins in here. The chicken was amazing here. It's an airline chicken. They also had, I had a ahi tuna, seared ahi tuna in here that was amazing, but I had the best, and I kid you not, the best appetizer in here, and it was a bed of creme fraiche topped with some crushed garlic potatoes and then caviar on top. I licked the bowl clean. I have pictures you can see. It was to die for. But in this
See, Della and I would send each other to other restaurants with walkie-talkies to figure out what we would need to go get at the different times. Like, what's dessert over there? Okay, save me, order me when I'm on my way.
Yeah. That sounds like a perfect plan. Perfect plan. So what I love too about some of our restaurants is a lot of them have open kitchens. So you can see the chefs working and it's not noisy. Frank, it believes in a quiet kitchen. So nobody's yelling at each other. They're extremely meticulous. They're working very hard. It's kind of fun to watch. And even though this is a steakhouse and a little bit more dark decor in here, there are floor to ceiling windows. That's where the light in this image is coming through. So there are floor to ceiling windows that you can still connect with the ocean even when you're in a steakhouse. Next restaurant, Sakura. I may have eaten in here, may or may not have eaten in here 4 times because I'm a huge lover of Pan Asian. This is another one that does require a reservation. This is open for lunch and dinner. You only need a reservation for dinner. Lunch, what I love about this space for lunch is it's right adjacent to our stern pool on deck 5 aft. So you can sit out and have a bento box poolside from Sakura if you would like. And the bento boxes are ever so cute. They're these little black boxes that come with a cover on it. It has our logo, mandala in red, and then they pop it off and it's all just situated in the box, super cute, and it's really yummy. But Sakura Pan Asian. Yes.
Sorry to interrupt. I just want to ask a quick question. So let's say we have that lunch. We have several folks that like to eat. I imagine it's not a problem if they need 2 of those bento boxes.
No, not a problem.
Just want to clarify that at all, because we get asked that all the time. Can we order something else if we're still hungry?
Oh,
yes.
Sure. You could even go to another one of the restaurants. If you want to go up to the Emporium Marketplace and get something more, or you can go over to Med Yacht Club if it's open for lunch. Yep. This is from a decor standpoint, I love
Chinese
this.
lanterns.
Yeah, so Sakura means cherry blossom. So obviously cherry blossoms hanging from the ceiling, but I also love the gold murals, the gold Asian murals on the walls, the spaces that look like you're kind of sitting in the, little, whatever, I don't know what they call them in the Asian restaurants where you're typically sitting down low. Anyway, I just think they've tastefully done the decor in here very, very nicely. And what I love too, attention to detail. What I didn't point out in the Marble & Company one is the napkins in Marble & Company are folded to look like bulls' heads. So you've got the horns of the bull. In here, this picture doesn't show it, but now when you go in Sakura, All the napkins are folded to look like little kimonos. So when you walk in, you have these little cute little napkins at your table side. But we have the #1 sushi chef from England, who is our sushi chef on board. Vietnamese, Japanese, like I said, Pan Asian, Thai food in here. They do a mean lobster pad Thai in here. And every restaurant also, don't forget to ask about the signature cocktail in every restaurant, because every restaurant has a signature cocktail. And here, when they told me what the signature cocktail was, I was like, ooh, I don't know, that sounds kind of odd. But then I went, oh, you know what? I'm not paying for this. I might as well try it. It was amazing, and it paired so good with all the food. It was a mixture of vodka, yuzu, ginger, sake, and a splash of wasabi oil.
Ooh.
To die for.
Ooh.
It was a martini. It was to die for. I had one every night that was in there. So that's 4 martinis. And I might have had two one night. Anyway, Sakura was my favorite. Again, reservations, lunch, and dinner. Now, Anthology is another restaurant that you do have to make a reservation in. This one is extremely special. This one, there is an experience fee for this restaurant. It's €190 per person. If you want the wine tasting, it's another €75. So it's not automatically included, because we know that some guests do not drink. And so we don't want to lock them into having to have a wine pairing as part of the experience. In fact, on board, we have a program called Club Soda for our non-drinkers. So, and we do have an extensive mocktail menu, and I've had some of the mocktails and they are quite yummy. So Anthology is where we invite guest chefs, celebrated chefs, to curate the experience in this restaurant for a period of time. Right now, we have a gentleman by the name of Mauro Uliassi on board. He has a restaurant, a 3-star Michelin restaurant on the Adriatic coast of Italy, only open 6 months out of the year. He has an 8-course tasting menu on board. Very seafood forward is his menu. He will be on board until October 3rd. And just yesterday, we announced our new Anthology chef. Her name is Emma Begston. She is from Aquavit, which is a 2-star Michelin chef in New York. And the only reason it's 2 stars is because she doesn't own the restaurant. So the chef and the restaurant, if the restaurant is owned by the chef, then you have the opportunity to get 3 stars at the restaurant. But Emma is, she's got more of a Nordic flair to her cuisine, and she will be on board from October 3rd through mid-April. And then we'll source the chef from the West Coast, because that's where the ship will be. And then we'll source another chef in the summer from the Mediterranean. We're targeting Spain as a possible location for our next chef. But again, I have to honestly say, I think my meal in Anthology was the best meal I've ever had in my life, because it's not just about the food. They come out, it's the presentation, they tell you how they make everything. And it truly is an art, as many of you know who are foodies. And if you are a foodie, you can definitely appreciate what we are offering in Anthology as an experience on board. So then you're probably going to wonder, what about entertainment? So we have those 12 bars and lounges, 8 interior, 4 exterior. This happens to be our lobby bar. This is the heartbeat of the ship. So off the lobby bar here, up on the 2nd floor on the right-hand side of this image is where Anthology is located. On the left-hand side, that's Crema Cafe. That's where we have our specialty coffees, teas, beverages, fine pastries, and light bites throughout the day. On the 1st floor, that's where all of our shops are. That's where our casino is. We have a beautiful Steinway piano at the top of the stairs. It really is a very comfortable space, and it truly does help make the ship feel like a boutique hotel. But again, you can see the floor to ceiling windows that you're seeing, again, providing all that access to the ocean. And then I thought I'd sample just a few of the bars and lounges on board. So a stern lounge is towards the aft, right by that aft pool. And that's where a lot of the DJs mixing will be in the evening, some dancing later in the night. Journey's lounge is more where our luminaries and our lecturers will come, and you can enjoy their presentations. It's also where, if we are going to have, when we have entertainment in the evenings, a lot of times this lounge is activated as the main lounge for entertainment, and I'll explain that in a moment. Malt whiskey bar for those who enjoy their dark liquors. We also have a cigar bar in here where you can get David Hoff cigars and smoke in the cigar bar if you like only cigars though. Sky bar on deck 14. The Sky Bar, the I'm telling you, the bartender at the Sky Bar, Christopher, makes the most amazing cocktails. A margarita that will knock your socks off, an espresso martini that will keep you awake all night. Just amazing. Crema Cafe, we already talked about. And the Explora Lounge is another one that I wanted to highlight. This is where we do afternoon tea every day from 4 to 5 p.m. And it is very lovely. The Explora Lounge actually makes you feel like you're in your own solarium at home because it's very intimate and it has this whole set of live plants out on the front deck over this big solarium set of windows, and again open to the ocean. And you can see here floor to ceiling windows in all these lounges, with the exception of the Journeys Lounge, to keep you again connected with the ocean. And in the Journeys Lounge, this is where we do have a lot of our reimagined entertainment. We don't have one main show that everyone goes to for a first and second seating production. We don't have any Broadway jazz hands type show. Our mantra is that we want to provide the entertainment that is the right vibe for the right time for you. So we activate several lounges each evening. It might be that you want to just hang out in the lobby bar and enjoy the music of the Steinway piano, or maybe up in the Journeys or the Explora Lounge, we might have an acoustic guitar player up there. In the Journeys Lounge here is where we'll have a little bit larger scale production. So we typically do an evening by candlelight every sailing, and this particular night was an evening by candlelight featuring swing music. We might have big band music. We might have a tribute to Billy Joel is one of the things that we do. We also had just recently a guest entertainer come on board who was a Freddie Mercury impersonator, not impersonator, but that was his genre. Packed lounge, everybody was loving it. I had some friends that were on board and they were sending me text messages with videos that it was, just one of the best shows they ever had. But again, not a first and second seating show. It's more casual. It's more like entertainment will start at 7 p.m. because we don't want anybody sitting at their dinner, enjoying their culinary experience and going, we got to go. I can't come over to the other lounge and try your dessert because the show's going to start. We don't want any of that. We want people to relax, enjoy what they're experiencing, and then happen upon whatever entertainment is the vibe for them. Next up, outdoor spaces. So for a ship of our size, the outdoor spaces are immense. We have a total of 4 pools. We have 3 outdoor heated pools, 1 indoor pool with the glass retractable roof, and we have 64 cabanas throughout the ship. No extra charge for the cabanas for folks to go to and have a little bit more private, intimate space. We also have several indoor and outdoor whirlpools. Some of them are infinity whirlpools. This pool that you're seeing right now is the Helios pool. This is the adults only area, adults only pool on deck 11 forward. And then the next image is of our conservatory pool. So this is the one with the glass retractable roof that can be enjoyed during warm and cold weather cruising. And the other great thing about the conservatory pool area is there is a gelateria and
I love that conservatory pool. That's nice.
And the gelateria and creperie, and they also serve Belgian waffles in there. So if you want a little sweet tooth at some point throughout the day. And they do milkshakes in there with the gelato. Lots of yummy treats in there. And this pool, I was actually surprised at the size of the pools. This pool, people are able to easily swim laps in. It's quite big. So I think you'll find lots of outdoor spaces to enjoy. I had someone that I was sailing with that said, I've been on ships of this size before, and they typically only have 1 pool. And I always hate it when there's that one person that annoys me and they're at the pool the same time every day that I'm there. But now on Explora Journeys, if that person annoys me, I'm just going to go to a different pool. So you got variety to choose from. Again, going back to that choice, with that space, we can give choice. So our Ocean Wellness is our spa and fitness area. We have curated our Ocean Wellness program all in-house. Most cruise line will outsource their spa facilities and their fitness programming. We've done everything in-house. And the whole idea behind Ocean Wellness, again, focus on the ocean. So when you see some of our spa treatments, we do weave in a lot of conversation about the ocean, but no pushy sales. I don't know how many times I've gone on a ship and I've gotten a massage or a facial, and I wake up after my massage and I look up and they've got 6 products lying in front of me saying, you need this, and this, and it's going to cost you $600. I'm like, no, I don't. We don't do any of that. We have wonderful products available for sale, all European sourced products, things that you wouldn't necessarily find in the States. And those are the products that we use on our guests on board. but we certainly do not walk up to them or expect them afterwards to purchase those products. It's a very focused on the well-being of our guests. And we have about 10,000 square feet in totality dedicated to our spa and then our fitness area as a whole. Part of your journey fare includes access to the thermal spa area. That would be the hydrotherapy pool, the dry sauna, the steam room, the ice fall shower, the heated marble loungers, the Himalayan salt cave, which is beautiful. Himalayan salt block bricks that were hand carved on site on the ship. That's all included in your journey fare. When we're at sea, there are designated hours in the morning and late afternoon, evening that can be used complimentary. Otherwise, the rest of the time it's reserved for guests who've made spa treatments. In ports of call, it's open all day for the complimentary access. From a fitness standpoint, if you do want to try and stay fit and work off all those calories that you've consumed in our culinary, because that's what I had to try and do, we have an outdoor fitness area and an indoor fitness area, all powered by Techno Gym, which is an Italian fitness company. The equipment is stellar. We have fitness bikes, we have rowing machines, and we also have weight blocks out on the outer deck. So we have an outdoor fitness area and we do have an indoor fitness area. In addition to the fitness classroom here that you're seeing, we have a substantial amount of space dedicated to cardio and weight spaces. We have a running track on board. We have a pickleball court. We have a half-court basketball court. So we have lots of areas for guests to be active if they would like to while they're on their journey. And then last but not least, the space that I want to talk about real briefly is shopping, because I do like to shop from time to time. Again, this is another space that we have not outsourced, which most lines do. Everything in our shops has been done in-house. And as such, we looked to find products and partners that we could work with that source their goods sustainably. So you'll find some unique luxury products that you've never heard of before. And when you come in the shops, it's not about a hard sell again. It's about walking into a shop and saying, I've never heard of this brand, Save the Duck. I love this puffer jacket. And the shop host will come up and tell you the story behind Save the Duck. And the next thing you know, I'm walking away with a new puffer jacket. So it's really more of an experience in the shops. And then the other thing about our shops is we have what we call the journey that has all these various different brands in them. And then we have 4 mono-branded shops, which I don't have an image of right now. But our 4 mono-branded shops include Rolex, Panerai, Piaget, and Cartier. And yes, you can actually purchase a Rolex on board while you're sailing with us, duty-free, mind you. But if you are interested, we do guarantee inventory 365. Only 2 Rolexes can be purchased per day, and only 1 Rolex per suite can be purchased on any journey. So we do limit the availability. And if anybody's interested, I would suggest they get in on the game early in the journey with us so that they can experience our Rolex inventory. Now, I do have a video of the actual ship that I was hoping maybe I could show. It's just a minute and a half or 2. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to do this on Zoom, but I'll try. Can you guys hear this?
We don't have the sound.
You don't have the sound?
Mm-hmm.
No, there, share something. These are much better
That's nice.
idea of the space and what you can expect to experience on board. And then I thought I'd close really quickly with just letting you know that we do have 4 ships on order at the moment, with the option for an additional 2 to make our fleet a total of 6 ships. Our first ship obviously is already in operation, Explora 1. Explora 2 will be launched next August 11th, leaving out of Barcelona on her maiden journey. And then ships 3 and 4 will be introduced in 2026 and 2027. All 4 ships are designed identically as far as the look and the silhouette of the ship, but ships 3 and 4 will be 60 feet longer, and that's because they are anticipated to be powered by LNG, and we need to have space for the batteries on board. Instead of adding an additional 44 Ocean Terrace suites, which is what the architects told us we could do, we are actually looking at reducing the number of Ocean Terrace suites and adding some additional penthouses and residences, including a second owner's residence. So you could potentially see the guest and suite count drop on the 3rd and 4th ship when they're introduced. And I will tell you, we did the float out of Explora 2 on September 9th. And on the same day, we also cut steel on Explora 3. So we are well on our way to our future journeys. And we're open for deployment all the way through April of 2025 at this point. So with that, you guys have any other questions for me?
No casino?
We do have a casino.
Okay.
It's a boutique casino. It has 18 slots and 3 tables that can play 4 games. Don't ask me what the 4 games are because I'm not a gambler. I know poker's in there. I know blackjack's in there. Roulette's in there.
Roulette, okay.
And then I don't remember what the other one is.
So love the culinary experiences for the folks. I think they're absolutely going to love that. The spaces are fantastic. So how large is the ship overall?
So the ship is 63,900 tons. So size-wise, to put it in perspective, if you've got guests who have done cruising in the luxury space or even have been in the market for a while, we are the same size as the Oceana Vista, which was just launched. We're the same size as the Crystal Serenity, same size as actually some of the older Holland America ships. But those ships hold 1,200 up to 2,000 guests in some cases. When we're talking about Holland America, we have 461 all oceanfront, all terrace suites. And I always talk about the suites first because, again, we want you to think of us as a hotel. And you never go to a hotel and ask how many people sleep in the hotel. You ask how many hotel rooms you have. But to break it down, our maximum capacity, we don't anticipate ever filling more than 900 guests on board. So that's the total. You forced me up against the wall to tell you that.
Yeah. No, but I'm grateful for that because it really puts it in perspective. So we're looking at not only this replacing our Christmas voyage here, but also looking at New Year's Eve next year. So and the one that we're looking at specifically is the one for the Middle East, leaving out of Dubai. So we have a bunch of passengers that are going to be interested in that. Any ideas on when we could hear? How early do you start announcing your celebrity chefs and everything?
So we've known about Emma for a few months, and I've been teasing it with folks. I would think we typically know our chefs, I would say 3 to 4 months in advance. I would anticipate as we get into a better groove, we'll announce either further out. I would say we'll announce further out than that coming up.
And we have a lot of single sailors that will go with us. So I know that you guys never go to 200%. As someone, so you want to tell us a little bit more about your kind of general policy? I know holidays are going to be different.
Yeah, holidays, maximum that we have been going to is about 175%, and that's typically going to impact the holiday sailings. We don't have suites that are dedicated for solo travelers. And when I say dedicated, they haven't been designed for solo travelers. So you will be staying in at least an Ocean Terrace suite. And we do have solo rates for all of our various categories of suites, penthouses, and residences as well. We do have a flyer, which I know Sean and Della have access to, that articulates the various rates for our solos on all of our journeys that are open through April of 2025. So if there's something else you're interested outside of the holidays, you can check and see which ones are at 115%, and that might be something that is interesting for you.
And the other thing is you guys are rewarding folks that have cruised in some of the that have cruising status in some of the cruise lines, as well as some of the hotel division
Yep.
loyalty
So
programs.
yeah, so up until December 31st, if you have a loyalty program with another cruise line or another hotel, we will double match that benefit with a journey experience credit. I believe it's up to 250 euro is my recollection. And that is combinable with the journey experience credit that you get just for booking through Sean and Della, which is an additional 300 euro journey experience credit per suite. If it's a solo, it's cut in half. And a journey experience credit basically is an onboard credit. We have a little bit different lexicon here because we're trying to get you to think a little bit different about us and think of us more as a hotel, and really a journey for us. I maybe said cruise more times than I should have this time that I presented, but we typically like to say journey instead of cruise, because we believe what we offer on board is more than just a cruise. It's a journey of self-discovery of a destination, or just connecting with others around you, along with that ocean state of mind.
To me, this is an experience. This is your time. You're not just vacations are what I tell everyone. Families that vacation together stay together. And the idea is best thing for a marriage is when mom and dad get time away sometimes, right? Because you got to remember who the other person is instead of when you're not in that hustle and bustle of everything else. So what you're offering people is exactly what you want. Every cruise that we do, doesn't matter where it is, anything that Della or I book, we always try to find something that is going to make that experience A, less stressful, and B, give them something no one else would be able to deliver, some other once in a lifetime experience. And in truth, looking at this with the journeys that you're doing, you're providing a completely unique experience out there. The idea that there's that many pools with those few passengers on that size ship is outrageous, and this, you're really trying to focus more in the rooms themselves. So the one thing I wanted to point out for folks that are going to be interested, you don't have obstructed view rooms.
No, we don't. We do not.
So,
they're all oceanfront, all terraced. You can see straight out. There's nothing that, and when you look at the schematic of the ship, you'll see we're able to accomplish that because all the lifeboats and life rafts are below where the suites are. And typically that's what's causing your obstruction, is that life raft or that lifeboat. I will say I think it's the Serenity, or no, the Retreat residences. I'm not as super excited about the terraces on the Retreat residences because they're a little bit more protected because they're in the front of the ship. You do still have a view of the ocean, but they're not as expansive of terraces as some of the other residences, in all transparency.
And
I'm excited.
Tell me something about the only thing we didn't really cover a lot of is, can you give us some ideas of what you guys are doing in terms of curating shore experiences?
Sure. So we call them destination experiences. We have to be different. And we have worked really hard to try and curate destination experiences that none of the other lines are offering. So we have been working with DMCs to create things that you wouldn't be able to buy off the shelf, that have maybe a little extra twist that is special for our clients. So therefore, our destination experiences are opening a little bit closer into the journeys, about 6 months prior at the moment, until we get that stockpile and we start repeating some of the destinations of ports of call. Then we'll be able to, ultimately our goal is to open a year in advance so that you could pre-book your destination experiences. But that's what we're working on as far as the opportunities to experience places that we're sailing with regard to our destination experiences.
And I know I was personally impressed when I started looking at what you were offering for Guadalupe on the Christmas voyage, because I have not seen that with anyone else. That type of experience, the experiences that I saw there and the options that were there. And in particular, I also like the fact that you had some private yachts and private and everything that folks could take out. And looked really very interesting. How I was very impressed with the quality of the ones that you're getting. So it kind of goes back to where you're able to go and get that once in a lifetime thing. You're doing something nobody else is. You're looking for that unique experience all the way through. Exactly. Well, that is fantastic. So thank you very much for doing that. But Della, what'd you got?
Well, I love the idea that you have ports of call with overnights. There's nothing worse than hearing about a sunset somewhere and our ship leaves at 3. So be able to experience, dinner in port or an experience, flamenco show. I mean, who knows? But
Yep.
I'm liking that a lot. Now, I would like to address dress one more time. I'm in the Florida market, so I have a very extreme upscale steakhouses here where a gentleman can wear a pair of golf shorts and a button-down shirt and a pair of shoes, and he's absolutely welcomed. Would it be the case on your vessel?
That's a great question. We were looking that up the other day when I was speaking with Sean, and I don't have a definitive answer on that, but I would assume if they're in really nice shorts like you've described, they would be okay. I will get you the answer on that, and I'm sorry I haven't as of yet. We actually haven't been sailing in warm weather yet, so
That's a good question.
We haven't really come across that opportunity at this point.
I mean, men here don't wear anything but linen pants and, nice shorts. And, I can understand flip-flops and cutoffs, but not, even a polo shirt. They dress for work and they don't want to when they go out for their leisure time.
Yeah, and that's exactly why we have the dress code that we do, is we do not, we're targeting the affluent working wealthy who probably do have to dress up for work, and the last thing they want to do on vacation is do the same. So
but a lot of them here country club casual, and they think they have to put on a pair of khaki pants, a polo shirt, and a sport coat.
So, no, I'll find that answer for you guys and get it to you as soon as I get it.
Perfect.
And I think but I like the fact that I know that when you were looking at this, we also saw that jeans are appropriate everywhere.
Yep.
So that kind of carries a different tone too, because that's not always allowed.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. So I can certainly, and I agree, cutoffs and a tank top are one thing, but
Yeah.
As we're going. So no. Della, do you have anything else?
Wonderful. No, it's great. Let me make sure. Let me think.
Did Jim hear what he needed to hear? All alcohols included.
Yeah. Well, and in the middle of this, we had a torrential downpour, lightning and thunder, and I was thinking I'm going to lose power, but that's why I kept looking, because the lightning was just awful. So anyway,
glad we didn't lose you.
Yeah, me too. But it was wonderful. Thank you so much. I'm really excited about the product.
You're welcome. Thank you. We are too.
So, and Amy, so for next steps, I'll get with you. I'm just waiting I'm trying to make an appointment with somebody on the phone to just go ahead and set those groups up for those guys.
Okay.
I sent some out to Jennifer just saying, let me know a time and we'll go ahead and we'll get that rolling. But we will actually edit this down a little bit and send it out to our sailors tonight. So that way they have it.
Great.
And we're going to post this.
Do you have an air department?
So we are in the process of building our air department. I believe we're targeting opening air in October. We do have an air bonus promotion right now, but I'll be honest with you, it's not designed for the North America market. It was more designed for the European market, and it's a very manual process, and the pricing has not been super great. So I would wait until our air department opens. And I know that when it does open, we will be extremely competitive and offer great service. So that's our plan.
One other question on that. Do you offer, are you guys offering, travel insurance protection or anything with the cruises?
Not yet, but it's coming as well.
Okay.
Yeah. Those two things were kind of, I don't want to say put on the back burner, but they were lower on the priority list when we were launching the brand, because we heard from so many travel advisors that either you have your own air connections or your own insurance connections, and that it wasn't a priority, that there were other things that we needed to focus on when we were launching the brand. So we knew that they would come, and they are coming shortly.
And Della, we don't get to see them at IGLTA.
No, I'm sorry.
I know. This year. And I don't think they're going to Travel South either.
No. What's Travel South?
Travel South is the first weekend of December in Memphis.
Oh, okay.
At Graceland.
Ah, very appropriate.
So so there you are. But we will find them at one of these conferences. I know it, Della. Maybe we'll find maybe we'll find them at a Clear or something. But there you go. All right. Thank you so much.
Thank you,
Amy. I appreciate you taking all this time.
No problem. Let me know if you have any other questions that come up, and I'll find out about the shorts.
Sounds great. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Bye.